Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. The website for Chris Ann is chris-ann with an e.com. Is at the end of that paragraph. If you're interested, feel free to freeze frame on there and check that out. Supportive Oracle Cards, Spell Casting Oracle Cards by Flavia, Barbara, and Lizbeth. There's websites in the back here. SheWhoIsArt.com is the one that always sticks out to me, but if there's something else that you like, feel free to check that out. Just feel free to freeze frame and do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Okay. What do we have for Sagittarius? I'm going to put that there. Okay, so Ace of Cups I'm noticing right off the bat here. I feel like I'm afraid of dropping it, losing it. It does make me nervous. Not to ruin this, but I see a good outcome. We just got to get there. Might be a rough road to an good outcome, just to be fair. Because I'm like, whew. You can feel the energy. I'm afraid I'm going to lose it, yes. The Death card. And the Page of Swords is there, too. A lot of chatter, a lot of loose chatter around this situation makes me really nervous that I'm going to lose something. I don't think you're going to. But I feel like I'm getting really scared at one point that I'm literally going to lose something I very much want. The Ten of Swords shows up. But I feel like this is going to be one of those situations where I'm fearing the Ten of Swords, but I end up with the Ten of Wands. To me, the difference of these two are like I have to do the same stuff. It's like going through, it's almost like going through like cancer treatment and chemotherapy and all that stuff and fearing the Ten of Swords, fearing death. But what happens is the Ten of Wands, getting to the other side and recovering and getting my life back the way I want it. That's kind of how this feels to me. It feels like it's a heavy one. I mean, it does, because I see this coming forward, so I don't want to sugarcoat it. The Devil card is coming, but I feel like you're gonna win this out. You're gonna overcome it. You're gonna make it. You're gonna be fine. It's not gonna be a fun trip. That's why I think I used that cancer treatment thing. I was like the chemo. It's not a fun trip, but it's something you're going to use it to your benefit and you're going to overcome it. There's a lot of pieces here that don't seem to fit quite right, if that makes sense. They technically fit, but it doesn't seem like they're not working as good as they should. You got the Page of Fire, the Wheel of Fortune, Talent, Commitment, and the Knight of Wands. Things go very, very fast here. The Knight of Wands plus the Page of Wands plus the Wheel. A lot of fire to me. I can't remember if the Wheel is connected to fire. I don't really remember off the top of my head. But it feels like with the other two fire elements going on here and commitment. Is that trust? That's talent. There's a lot going on. Things move very, 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 very fast. Even for Sagittarius, it seems like it's going so fast I'm not even really sure what's happening. And I don't really care for that because I don't know what's going on, and I feel like I need to know what's going on. Somebody here is trying to handle it on their own. That's not going to be successful. You'll end up helping them. They're going to ask you for help, but I feel like when they finally do ask you for help, that's the Devil card coming in later, I feel. It's kind of like, well, you've gone so far down this road that... Okay. It's kind of like, I feel like what I'm looking at is like, the way they did it, I wouldn't have done it that way. This could have been easier, but they are where they are, and I'm just helping them from there. I have to look at different ideas. I feel like I have to stabilize this. There's a lot put on me. I have to lead this forward. I don't really want to, but I feel like for the outcome I need, I will. I have to look at everything that went on, and I'm like, okay, I don't like that, but it's happened now. So now where do I go? And just kind of keep moving. Sagittarius keeps moving quite well. I see this going well. I do. And I feel like things go better. These two together, to me, these are like really good sisters. They're people who look out for each other. Like they know each other's shortcomings and they watch each other's back and they're like, hey, you're missing on that. Look out for that. And the other one's like, yep, I see you and you're missing that. Look out for that. And they're like helping each other where they can help each other. There's a lot of camaraderie going on here. Still some confusion. I feel like you're doing what you can to help. But with these two cards here, things are going to work out well, but it's kind of like I don't know if they're keeping you in the loop of what's really going on. Not really seeing a malicious energy with that. I just feel like they're moving forward and they're telling you what they need and you just go and handle it. It seems like the story might get a little bit complex. That might be one of the reasons. And it's not that they don't want to tell you. It's just kind of like you're too busy to sit down and go through all the ins and outs of it. It's kind of like you got too much going on to go through all the history of it and what's going on currently and why this was done and why that's going to be done next. But these energies are looking out for each other and the whole situation, the situation as a whole. So there's a lot going on. They're telling you what they can, but they're trying to not derail your success. There is some bumps in the road, but you keep helping them get across these bumps, so they're just trying to keep that momentum going. How do they relate to you, other? They see you as making things happen. And they're not telling you things, they're still not telling you things. I get the Five of Pentacles. They see you making things happen, and they're just telling you, like, it's like they're in control, and they're just, like, telling you what they need, and you're making it happen. They are keeping you on the outs for some reason. I don't think it's malicious. I keep getting that it's not malicious. But they are, like, either because there's too much to explain here, or it's just kind of like, if you could just do this, Sagittarius, that helps best. And you're like, all right. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Even though you start leading, too, I don't understand. How are you leading, yet they're not telling you everything? They're telling you what they need, and you're leading that part. It's kind of like, okay, this person, we need a couple... Over the next week, they need three different rides to the doctor or whatever they need. And you're like, okay, I can make that happen, and you just make it happen. They don't tell you about the other things about, like, you know, other moving pieces. They just say, well, this isn't working. Can you help make this work? And you're like, I can do that. I can do that. I can make that work. So you're leading, and, like, you might not even be the one taking them to these appointments, but you're like, I can find, hey, I know you, by the way, you're going this way that day. Could you kind of edit your time and go at this time and bring so-and-so with you? And could you bring them back? Or can you take so-and-so with you? And then you're like, okay, on the way back. And you contact somebody else and orchestrate that, getting that person back where they need to go, maybe getting them some extra food or whatever they need. You might be more pulling it together, making it happen, calling this one, calling that one, getting this done, getting that done, that type of thing. So what you do take care of, you're leading in that respect, but the overall situation, I don't think you're leading, if that makes sense. Okay, because I feel like I was like, that was contradictory. How are you leading and not leading at the same time? And I'm getting that's how that's happening. There's stress around whatever's going on. There's a lot of stress. Somebody wants control that they can't have. They want to be more self-sufficient. There's stress around the situation with somebody who wants to be more self-sufficient than they can at this moment. That's the stress. But it's also by not being able to do this on their own, that's where they get the protection. That's where they get the better outcome. That's why this thing actually works out, because they can't do it by themselves. They want to do it by themselves. This is somebody who's very committed. Whoever you're helping, because it feels like you're helping somebody, they're very responsible in getting their own stuff done, and they're very responsible. They like to help other people. They like to be the one helping. They might have a little bit of a challenge being helped. It's kind of like it's easier to help somebody than to accept help. They might be one of those. They'll show up and anybody needs something, they'll do that, they'll bend over backwards. But when they need some help, that's where they have a hard time. But that's kind of like the balance of life. You can't just help people. You got to learn how to accept help at the same time. There's an emotional balance to that. That's helpful in a different way to other people. So they might struggle with that. I feel like you're going to understand it when you deal with it, what that means, because it seems like they're struggling letting people help them. you're very good at rolling with the punches, though. That might be another reason you're a part of this. Kind of like, oh, they don't like that. Okay, I'll move in this direction. Oh, yeah, I'll move in this direction. You'll just move quickly as you need to. I also feel like you might not take little snafus personally. I feel like you'll just roll with it. Kind of like, oh, okay, they don't like that. I'll just move on. Because I feel like they might be a little bit difficult to deal with because they don't accept being helped very easily. You'll communicate with them quite nicely too. I feel like every now and then they're going to upset you, but I also see bouncing back from that really quick. I'm hoping this information about them having a difficulty letting people help them hopefully is setting you up in a good way, kind of like, okay, yeah, I kind of knew that was going to happen. So that's what that's about, because they might have some comments that are really not that nice. And I feel like normally it would bother you, but hopefully if this is setting you up in a proper way, I'm hoping you're kind of like, oh, okay, it's not really about me, it's about them like short-circuiting and not dealing with people helping them very well. And maybe I can step back and like, take it third person, even though they said it directly at me and they aimed it right at me. If I step back and kind of look at this third person, kind of like, okay, I see what's going on here. It's not nice what they're doing, it's not okay, but I can at least step back and be like, it's not really about me, even though they're aiming it at me. It's about them feeling powerless, and that's where that's really coming from. Hopefully you can, that may be a challenge. I know for some of you, others may be like, yeah, I can do that. Hopefully that sets you up for success. You kind of realize, oh, okay, that's what that is. It feels like if you're looking at, I feel like they're saying mean things right to you, like directed right at you. But if you can see it from the bigger picture, like, no, they're just trying to, attack somebody because they're angry. If so-and-so was doing this and not me, they would have said something similar to that person instead of me. And it wouldn't have been, like, I feel like if you look at that, if I take myself out and put somebody else here, they would have said something nasty to them too. Doesn't mean anybody's bad. This person might have a difficult time accepting help, just to be aware of it. Hopefully that's helpful, because I do see you succeeding in this situation overall. I do, with the Six of Wands. I'm just mostly worried about somebody saying something mean to you, like nasty, maybe more than one thing. Oh. But if you can detach from it and kind of see it for the bigger picture, kind of like if I step out of this, put somebody else in there, they're going to say something nasty to them anyway. They're going to say something nasty to whoever does this because they're feeling very powerless. You might also be able to even move it further ahead than what I'm explaining and kind of give somebody that a way to empower themselves or show them or help them do something that they feel more empowered with. You might find an angle to where maybe they feel more in control of their own life. Something. I feel like if you're able to see it for what it is, you might have ideas just kind of pop in your head like, hey, maybe if I do it this way, or maybe if we go do this, maybe they'll feel more, like if we can do something more that they want to do, or something where they feel more in control, something. It may or may not be a possibility, but if you're aware of it, I feel like it'll present itself as it needs to. It does work out good, but it's going to have a rough spot, but it is going to work out well in the long run. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.